Hello, good afternoon. This is Karin Bosveld. I am a coach for conscious feminine leaders um, and also a teacher. And my teachings are mainly based on Zen philosophy um, with sprinkles of mindfulness and self-compassion. And if you are not Dutch, then you will have missed yesterday's live stream because that was in Dutch. And in that one, I announced that I'd be live streaming regularly this week, next week, and hopefully in times to come. On the subject of conscious feminine leadership and related subjects. I've not been live streaming for a while, and one of the reasons was that I explained this in my Dutch live stream yesterday, so if you're here for the second time, then excuse the repetition. One of the reasons, probably the main reason, was that I was going through some changes. I had a lot of insights coming in over the past month, 2 months, and somebody's just joined me. Hello and welcome. If you want to leave a comment, feel free. I've got my reading glasses here, so as soon as I see comments coming in, I'll use it. I'm always reading a lot and following people on social media, and of course the internet has connected us to the world, and not just geologically but also philosophically and spiritually. There's so much, there's such a vast array of sources available to us now, and I am a voracious reader and learner. I can never stop learning. But the downside of that is that I at times get so aware of what I do not know, and right now so much is changing in the world. I guess always a lot is changing. With right now it's also visible and so tangible as well, and I feel, and I'm absolutely not the only one who feels this, but a lot of that has to do with the feminine and the masculine. And I'm absolutely not the only one talking about this, but the reason why I'm talking about is that it's so much part of my own experience, and that it influences everything I do so much. And I also feel compelled to talk about this. Anything I talk about in my blogs or in my live stream are things that I feel compelled to talk about. I guess that's the teacher in me. And of course, ever since I've started my business, I've always been addressing women specifically. And it's becoming clearer and clearer to me why that is, and I want to explain that and also appeal to women, because I still see that so many women somehow feel disempowered, be it in their job, be it at home, or at both. And some are hardly aware of it. All they are aware of is a sort of miserable feeling, or not achieving what they would like to achieve, and they're not always so aware of the fact that they are not using their power. And there seems to be a bit of a difficult relationship for many women with power. I know there was for me for a very long time. I'm actually writing a blog about that right now, and it's been sitting on my desktop for 4 weeks or so. I couldn't finish it because I starting to get it now, so I'll finish it probably today and I'll publish it later this week. But anyway, it was as if for me, and I know, you know, for many other women too, power was a dirty word, and it was not something you should have. People with power were not nice people, and we want to be nice people. And that belief has been doing us a disservice because there is still a huge disbalance between men and women, for one thing, and masculine and feminine, which is a different thing. I've been talking about this before, but you know, just to make sure that you know what I'm talking about. We can talk about traditionally masculine and feminine qualities. In Tao, these are called yang and yin, yin and yang. Yin being the more feminine qualities, yang being the masculine qualities. Now, ideally, these qualities are present in all of us, independent of our sex. And we need both. And so yang qualities, masculine qualities, have more to do with the material world, with goal setting, with linear thinking, with the human experience, with the finite, time and space. Whereas yin qualities are more about the infinite, the connectedness, the reflexiveness, the more inward turned qualities, the more soulful qualities, if you like. And you may agree with me that we have quite some yang in our society. We're very much focused on the material world, on goals, on linear, the linear direction of time and space, on isolation, on individualism, on stuff, on outcome. And those more soulful qualities are very much undervalued, even denied in some circles. And of course, we're talking about spirituality here. And that, for some people, this is a dirty word. And I sometimes get discouraged to use the word because it puts people off. And I have a problem with that. Because if we can't use the word, then it gets very difficult to talk about what is lacking in our society and what is burning us up. I do insist that it's the soul qualities that balance out those more human or ego qualities. And ego, of course, is a difficult subject because it gets a bad rep, and it needn't. You know, ego is just what keeps us grounded. You know, with the personality, the beliefs and ideas that we have around ourselves that give us a personality that we move through this life with. Nothing wrong with that, unless we believe that that is all we are. And then it becomes something finite and something that we have to fight for, and something that isolates us from the rest of the world. And if we believe that that is all there is, then we become these fearful creatures. So the whole problem, I think, is not so much a male-female problem, but a fear-love problem, or a lack of soul, if you like, a lack of spirituality, a lack of realization that we're all energy, that we're all connected, and that it's all love, and that in the end there's nothing to fight for, whereas all we're doing is fight, it seems, and it's hurting us, and it's hurting the planet. And so I am now stoked about conscious feminine leadership, as I call it, because I feel women should not hesitate to stand up and bring those yin qualities back in. And I noticed that that many women are on a spiritual path, but they keep that quite separate from the rest of their lives. Not all of them, obviously. You can never, I could never talk about all women or for all women. That would be nonsense. But I do see that, and it's been like that for me for a while. I was discovering the spiritual, and I wasn't talking about it because I felt that maybe people would find me weird, or to woo, or something like that, too soft. So it's taken me quite a while to really integrate this into my life, and to not see it as something separate, but just as me, body and soul, human and soul, yin and yang, yang and yin, and strong. I had to strengthen my yin because that had been so undervalued. And this usually happens quite unconsciously, when we're very often not aware that, but we are taught that it's better to be rational than to be intuitive. We are taught that we should have goals and that we should have a path towards them rather than go with the flow. And we are taught that we should be linear, whereas women especially are so obviously not linear. We are so cyclical, and we have lost touch with our cycles. And I know that many women are rediscovering this and trying to get back to that, into that balance. But I think the time has come to not do that in little circles and enjoy that and keep that as their little secret or a little hobby or something, but to become much more responsible about it, and realize that it's not just what they need, but that it's what the world needs. Your love, your receptiveness, your reflexiveness, your ability to see deeper, your ability to connect, your ability to listen rather than speak immediately. This is all needed, because a lot of healing is needed, and a lot of fear needs to be dismantled, so that we can become a more loving species. And maybe before it's too late, extinguish that fire we have set to this planet. It's all fueled by fear. And so this is what I'm inviting women to explore and develop and to put out there. And I have started to use the word leadership. And the funny thing is that, of course, that's not my invention. I'm not the first one to do that, and I'm not the only one who does that. You always notice, especially if you are connected, that this is a wave, that it's happening in different places, and that collectively we are waking up to this. But one voice is never enough. So I am not, in that sense, a unique voice at all, but I am one of them. And I'm trying to take that responsibility, and I'm inviting you to join me on that path. If you've been feeling this, and what you may have been feeling is, I am bigger than I'm being given credit for. I can do more than I'm presently doing. But the reason why you're maybe not doing it may be hurt from the past, some wrongdoing, some limiting beliefs that you're actually small, that you're not allowed, that it's not your place as a woman, all kinds of beliefs that probably aren't even ours, but that we've been spoon-fed. from from an early age. And I said in yesterday's live stream, in the Dutch one, many women, including myself, not anymore, but that's what I used to believe, associate female leadership or feminine leadership with CEOs, managers, women on top, the extroverted, assertive type. Whereas I believe that women on top in the past decades have often been women who taught themselves to play a lad's game, who tried to become one of the guys, and who used their yang to get to the top. Now, good for them, you know, for making it there and for showing the world that women can do that too. But it's not enough, and it's not exactly what we need more of. What I believe we need more of is soft power, gentle power, power that's more about the empowerment of others, and knowing that no matter whether we're a leader or not, we do not have all the answers. And everybody is the expert of themselves. Some leaders tend to forget that and think that they should know it all, and if they don't, pretend to know it all, and also know what's best for others, and usually they don't. Well, you know, I was also made to believe as a child that I'd better listen to the grown-ups. And you somehow internalize that message, and when you're already a grown-up yourself, you still believe that there are grown-ups out there who know better than you. And that is, of course, a lie. Nobody knows better than you what you've come here to do, what your powers are, what your talents are, what your gifts are. And nobody but you can do something about that and put that out in the world. And it's time that we start doing that. And so this is what I'd like to talk a little bit more about. And so I'm maybe not talking so much to women who are already clear about the fact that they're a leader, much more to women who believe that that's not them. They're not leaders. Well, first and foremost, you should be a leader of your own life. And I talk to quite a few women who are not, who feel trapped and who feel that their choices are limited. And honestly, they're not. Your choices are not limited. Any limitations you are experiencing, especially if you live in the free Western world, are mainly put there by yourself because you have internalized certain beliefs and certain rules of the environment you grew up in, and you are free to unshackle yourself. Now, I have places you can come to join us on this journey. One of them is my free Facebook group. This is an international group of wonderful women. There is over 200 now, I think 250, something like that, called Awakening Wise Women. I've put the, I should point that direction, I think. Put the link in the title of the live stream. If you feel called by what I'm talking about, if you are on this path of awakening to your power and to your connectedness, to your gifts, to what the world needs and how you can contribute, and by all means join us there. Second, I am hosting a Wise Women retreat towards the end of the year, in the end of October, in the south of France. This will be for a small group of women I'm going to post a link to my webpage that gives you a bit more information, where you can also watch last year's participants talk about it and share their experience. It was a truly transformative experience for all of us. And so if you feel that you need more nourishment and need to touch base with your soul, because what's leading you on this journey, or what should be leading you on this journey, is the wisdom of your soul and not the chatter of the mind, which tends to take over, tends to be loudest. And so withdrawing for a few days, 7 in this case, to the country, in nature, and with a group of like-minded souls who support you, who keep space for you, and me bringing all my tools and witchcraft to have you have that conversation with your soul and have some deep insights. It's truly a beautiful experience. So if this is something that sounds like heaven, which I promise it will be, do get in touch with me and we'll talk about it. I do not take everybody with me on that journey. I do select. I do want to know if it's a good fit, both for your sake and for my sake and the group's sake. So you needn't worry that I'll talk you into something that's not for you. And you also needn't worry that you will be there and feel like an alien because you've got nothing in common with these people. I will make sure of that. So this is a heartfelt invitation for you to join my space, whether online or in real life, and nourish your soul and use your full feminine power to do what you've come here to do. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow's live stream will probably be in Dutch, but there'll be English spoken ones as well. So just check the page regularly. I'll be announcing the live streams, hopefully some 15 minutes before they start. And well, let's be in touch. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.